Go, Iranga.
Definitely already buckled up. Now buckle is off because somebody gonna jump off the plane as we start our first Erangel, which gonna be the official league of the PMSL Summer Split. Now speaking of, you mentioned our favorite peer before. That was last season drama for GigFam versus Sem9, but I heard there's another new drama when it comes to this season between Sem9 and another team.
Ah, the green color team. Judo Alliance. Oh yeah, absolutely. Though I personally think it's for content, but yeah.
It was fun.
It's fun content, right? Like we always enjoy this sort of taunts and tussles between the teams. That's just like what we saw earlier on Outer Eagle. Taunting Vampire Esports during the start. Though that could have been better well done. Maybe they're warming up to their taunting too.
You know, when I was hosting for last season, the arena is just so much taunting for the players and so much weird sounds. Even the crew was saying, here goes, the zoo starts again. Up to that point, that was just how loud the players are. Speaking of loud, they definitely are loud with their guns here, which is going to be Roy versus Todak.
Go, I heard the gunshots. But looks like, okay, we're back onto it. Looks like NKT's around the corner as well. But look at the elimination feed. Iftar taken out by Tusk. Dora, the moment he landed, they got eliminated. What just happened, Dora? Only 1 point this time.
Well, speaking of which, at least they scored one. And it's not ending up with a 0 on the side of Creative VIP versus Vampires. We did mention about Vampires, and it has been so long, Cloud. We actually do see early skirmishes on top of Pachinki here.
Yeah, so Pachinki, maybe we will see more fights with the two teams still locked in with each other. Normally, it's going to be Xavier dropping here, but obviously Xavier is not playing in this group. So happened, two teams thought that, oh, Pachinki is going to be open. Let's fight then.
Speaking of fights, no shots, no first contact made yet between the Vampires and Creative VIP. I guess both are trying to gain information before they start to move or any actions being commenced later on. But we do have UDO2, another tough start here as 0 finish off. Boy, I have to say, Morph do get themselves a very good fragger for themselves for this season.
Yeah, taking out Ade Boy. One of the new talents or new blood for Judo Alliance, for Judo 02, sorry. And overall in the world of PUBG Mobile for Southeast Asia as well. And of course, we got the OG player, Fredo, playing for Judo 02. Now, taking this rooftop stance, raised onto the right side, but the Micro Uzi is not the best weapon in this sort of range.
You play and you work with what you have, man. At this point, it's just scarce for the looting for them, since they're sharing with two teams with one compound here right now. Morph Hazel and Morph Zero managed to score another one, but they have a bit of a trade done here between UDO2. Heavy casualty on the side, leaving the OG, the veteran players of UDO2, Fredo and Jumper. It's been a while since they worked together. Can they work things out again?
Yeah, the duo that did it back in the day with Judo Gang. Let's see if they can do it now. It's going to be a tough call, though. It's 2v4. 2v3 at this moment. The numbers don't favor them. And also, they are not in the circle. They are still within Severny. Circle not too far away, but still, when the blue comes, it's still in the blue means in the blue.
Well, we're going to have a bit of time. Two teams happen to be shy. Just shyly greeting with the smokes and couple of hand grenades here and there. Morph. This might actually be a very long fight between these two. More than UDO2, maybe not so much. They figure out where he is. Hulk going in. There comes the spray. Going down on his knees. And Hulk just going for the prone, leaving only Jumper left.
And now they know where exactly Jumper is at. Hazel is going to go on to the Amanda Church where Jumper is waiting at the rooftop. They toss across, but not going to be able to connect at all onto Hazel. Zero joins in as well. 2v1 for now. Waiting for one more player to join in.
And Jumper, not waiting anybody to join him in. At this point, there's nobody else left for him. What can you do, Jumper? Jumping around, trying to hide himself, but there's not much space and room Another team that's going down early 2 times in a row. UDO to really need to work out regarding their drop spot here.
Well, yeah, and their early fights as well. I mean, 2 times in a row, early fights have been lost just like that. But we move over to another highlight here. Thorna was the first team to be eliminated, but we saw how Roy got it onto them. And also, Geek Fam, they lost 1 player by that spray from NKT.
It's a lot of early skirmishes due to the first day of the first week as well. So everybody trying to mark their territories and fighting for the compounds they're really dying for. But on the side of Create VIP and Vampires, seems like a bit of a hold, a bit of a, I say just a bit of draw between those 2 teams. A bit of a stalemate, nothing much happening. While on the side of Roy, they did lost 1 player early on. That they're trying to figure out how to move for the next one. If they're a bit later, if timing is a bit off, just a tiny bit, it's going to be done for Roy. Because they're trying to go for the mountains and all the small hills around here somewhere.
Or at least they got themselves this decent spot on the outside of Pachinki. So knowing that Pachinki, there's probably another team, so that's why they are like kind of chill for now out there. First for Team Secret, speaking of chilling, they are still being chilling in Novo, taking their time to make their rotation. So they're about 1,400 meters away, and will there be teams blocking them at the bridge? Probably not, unless if VTR is playing. VTR tends to like do that, but since they're not, then maybe Team Secret will have an okay access to the main peninsula.
Speaking of the main peninsula, things have been a bit silent, a bit quiet for now. Sorry, Pandemonium. I don't forget about Jason. Thank you for dropping by. If you guys have no clue, Pandemonium, just check things out. You guys can just hear about the updates of the west side of PUBG Mobile to its Pandemonium, by the way. No, I don't forget about Jason. I miss Jason. It's been a while, of course. But back to us again. Hope you guys are doing well there. Maxman and all the boys and all the girls up there as well. I miss you guys. Hopefully we get to see each other soon. Maybe in Riyadh, who knows? Cloud, can we go Riyadh?
Gotta ask the banker. Clearly, I don't hold the bank. If I hold the bank, I'll be bringing everyone there. Everyone, including all of you guys out there watching, because you guys are awesome.
Oh man, if only we can have all the crowd with us like once upon a time. But the flight, I mean the tickets to Israel are so expensive, by the way. And it's gonna be 11 to 13 hour flight from here. Hopefully we get to go with, I wish to go back to Middle East one day. But we're done with our stories. Infinity. Now this is going to be a team that trying to revamp themselves this season. After they lost Mela, they giving Mela to another team previously. After that they lost their spark. It feels like they're trying to find that spark once more for Infinity.
It's been multiple seasons ever since the original roster left the Infinity, the one with Nuzi, the one with Mela, in the same lineup. Ever since then, the Infinity was not the same team. A lot of major overhaul needed for the Infinity, and I guess based out of game number 1, they did okay 4 points, but you know, they still haven't got the spark of the Infinity of before.
Oh, I kind of miss the old Infinity. It was crazy those days. They were fearless, they were reckless, but now, I mean, everything will meet its end, including Turney there. That was a brutal way to go as the first day of the league. But you know what? They will try to get whatever they can get for the teams.
Oh, of course, whatever it takes to get points in the pocket. And again, it is Alter Ego securing that point. Easy run over onto Tony K. Not to be confused with Tony K, ladies and gentlemen. They are 2 very different players from different Thailand. But speaking about Tony K, we got them and his team on screen. And because the circle is somewhere in the middle of the map, so Pachinki will still be held down by these 2 same teams.
Now, I do have one wish for the GrandFinals. If if PUBG Mobile people are actually watching here, I do want to see a show match, which could be TDM, between 2 players, which is going to be Tony K versus Rosemary. Because the previous season has always been Tony K for the FMVP and top fragger. But when it comes to last season, things have been changed recently, which is going to be the era of Rosemary coming up between these two players. Who actually is the king of Fragger?
Well, maybe it's Tony K because he got a knockdown onto Jiminy. And now Valak is kind of low as well. Healing up using his only first aid. Tony K, that was a long range shot. So they kind of helped Boom Esports from afar. And Tony K is not able to secure that point just yet. Instead, we can see the pickup happening. And it looks like they will reset, though, with Tony K interfering.
We do hear a couple of nades being dropped once more. Francie is a bit erratic, but he found himself way to the side of Roy, and that's going to be Valak down. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Boom didn't even waste a single second for that one.
Yeah, and with that, Roy, look at the minimap. They will leave this area. They gotta get away from Boom. They gotta get away from Vampire Esports as well. And Roy relocated themselves into the edge of Pachinki. Now, having this house for themselves, they should be able to be holding. They should be able to hold this house for now. That is until maybe things come by.
And Roy really have to play this super safe. They didn't score so much when it comes to the first Sunhawk map just now. Now leaving with only 2 more players left. At least he's got himself a 4, but a bit low when it comes to the health of the players. Now on the side of Alter Ego, just passing by Infinity, greeted warmly by these guys with the sprays of the guns just now. We can hear the rifles singing over that side. But Morph, well, they are coming up from ruins. I think that's going to be a very clear path towards the center of the circle, just going up from the northern side.
Yeah, that's a crazy rotation there. Tagging them to come back into the circle, avoiding all other teams in the middle, playing it super safe for more. And understandably, since they only have 2 players left, they don't want to take any risks, and they're going to play, probably going to focus on to play some points.
Now, speaking of points, and KT will actually just give his points away to a side of Team Secret, who just aiming for more. Team Secret, who used to be Team Axe previously, now rebranded themselves into full Team Secret for this season. So was and the rest of their body will try to go for more. They're planning to go and rush to a side of NKT, but being stopped by Yidu Alliance right on top of that hill. But they're leaving and might actually just try to go for a longer rotation to get into the circle.
Oh, Mika just got knocked. And Gig Fam is not picking up yet. He's still bleeding out. And he'll be finished off by Guang from Team Flash, losing one of the key players. One of the members of Gig Fam currently kind of low as well. But on the outside of the circle, we got Judo Alliance here and Team Secret next to each other. We move over back onto Outer Eagle. Pretty okay in the circle, but position compromise. And Okta gotta be super duper careful since he's alone on the other side.
Now, I did heard the podcast come out from our Indonesian caster El Dogi, one of my very dear brother. He did mention about Okta is actually a high valuable player, be a bit underrated. From my perspective, I agree, because he's kind of an overall very good player. He can do whatever that's need to be in. He's the filler for the team. But speaking of NKT, Team Secret will try to shut them down, while Rosemary now starting his beast mode.
Going up to the high ground of Pachinki, one of the key areas in the circle still. Whoever conquers this high ground will have a good advantage to oversee the rotation of other teams nearby. Mr. Joe still calling up for help, and his teammates, it's going to be hard to pick him up. If they go for him, they're going to be shot down. And GK will finish up that job and secure that point for Team Secret.
Inside of Yudo Alliance marching in, they got themselves safely landed towards the compounds nearby, just touching at the rim of a circle, while the side of the others are still fighting for their own life. GigFam do have this high ground. This is going to be spicy if Yudo Alliance will try to take out on GigFam. I'm lucky we don't have 7-9 here today, but at the same time for GigFam, this is the season for them to prove themselves, the redemption. Compared to last season, they have so much of loss. They need to come back for this one, but they already lost Mika and Audrey way early on.
Yeah, the 2 players that is key to GigFam unfortunately eliminated. And circle-wise, gonna move away from GigFam as well. Now the hills of Pachinki is no longer valuable. So they have to get away from here. But Vampire Esports placing themselves on top of the abandoned church just above Pachinki. Great spot to be in with the circle.
It's quite a rare circle, by the way. We don't have a lot of Northern Pochinki sort of the circle of past few seasons. But speaking of Pochinki, it still holds some value on slightly half of the town, the northern side. GigFam taking the trenches, going in, but Team Secret is thinking the same thing. They might actually clash into each other, bomb into each other quite early. Creep VIP in trouble if they didn't spot out. The players being spotted out by the side of GigFam. They're being watched by so many eyes out there.
Yeah, look at how colorful the minimap is. Everyone wants to get into Pochinki now. On the outside of Pochinki, we do have Yudu Alliance. They're coming through the hills of Pochinki on the left side. But because it's not in the circle, it's no longer valuable. But GK tries to get in. Snipes! Caught him out and GK eliminated.
Back to its side, Damroot. GigFam very separated amongst themselves here. Lost 2 players early on. Damroot just gonna go solo YOLO all the way. Spot out Soas right across him. Here comes the nade, tossing it out in a couple of seconds, but they see him first! And the nade chipping down to only 60% of HP left. Oh, he couldn't even pick out for Damroot.
Oh man, and now Damroot, how is he gonna get out? Look at the amount of teams in front of him. He has a nade, but I don't think anywhere or anyone is close enough for him. Okay, let's see how far can he go. Oh, they trade nade to each other, and Damroot got it. Wow!
Oh, he got himself some revenge. He tried to take me down and poke me out, but you do Alliance. Hello, Batman!
No, Jimmy Opie rushes in, and he says hello, and he takes over this warehouse out of the hands of Batman.
He knits his Robin. He couldn't work things out by himself for that Batman of Team Flash. But speaking of Flash, we do have a Corn, not a Robin, but at least a Corn that tried to make a bit of a redemption for the team. Yudu Alliance did take themselves a warehouse, eyeing over towards the side of Team Flash, and KT will have the fight against VIP, and it happened to be kind of smashed down and hammered between the 2 teams here for NKT. They're stuck and sandwiched.
Yeah, NKT among the other teams. Look at where they are in the minimap right now. Vampire Esports on the high ground, and in the city, that's Crypt VIP. So they're kind of stuck between the two, like what you said, with only 2 players left. And if they want to take fights, it's not going to be that easy since they don't have the numbers. But look at the elimination feed as well. Yoru gets 1 out of 4.
Now, speaking of NKT, once more to go. Here comes a nade flying over, just gonna duck down and back to the side of Morph. Separated on top of Ruins. Now, Talon will try to smash down on Hulk. Hazel trying to buy more time, but that's gonna be the loss of them. And bad news is they're being eliminated quite still early. We still have 12 teams, they play themselves 13. They don't have any points for the placement.
Well, let's see who will get more points after this next circle, because it's going to be huge. Since a lot of teams are playing by the rim of the circle, and when the circle goes, it will bring a big impact to a lot of these teams. Now, circle goes into the middle, and all these teams on the outside, look at them, all ready to come in.
Coming in with a nade, Jabranki managed to just negate those damage away with the height, and that with those barrier, which is going to be the Dacia right across. Mokta, on the other hand, being shot from afar by Arjul, is going to go in for the rush. A bit of a trading, 2 knocks. 1 for each between Pygmy and Alter Ego. Rosemary managed to knock on one down. That's stopping Arjul from rushing forward, but he's taking too much risk, taking too many bullets, while Infinity spotted out Talon on the other side.
While Talon is the one on the outer side of the circle, they will need to find their way through against the Infinity. The Infinity holding their ground in this crater. They can still move in a little since the circle is behind them. Not going to be a big issue for the Infinity. The bigger question is for Talon. Are they going to take the fight head on, or are they going to rotate somewhere else? I guess they're going to take the fight head on, because if they rotate somewhere else, they could be shot down while they travel.
Well, they're already trying to box them down to a sort of Infinity, and they got a bit of a crate in between them. If they're not being careful for Talon, this will be their own bane. It's going to be them regretting their mistakes. Their Linux trying to take as much damage and try to hold on at the same time, but lucky enough, they spot out Logan. He's on the ground. Tiger Axe down. Beasley tossing another nade. A bit of swap of nades. There's a nade galore this time. Couple of players swapping in and out for their knockdowns, while Infinity leaving only Got Tony to do all the job.
Oh, now Got Tony all alone. Yes, get out of this area. Talon firing back. Got Tony praying that he's able to make it into safety. And Got Tony so fast, so good. Goes up and high. still being shot at. Continue praying hard.
Oh.
Vigo. Oh no, not in this area.
Where to run? No, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The moment he just climbed up this small hill, vampires were trying to shoot him down. Got Tony now, really, literally hanging on to his life, hoping nobody will spot him out. But at the same time, that vehicle will expose him away while Alter Ego is on the hunt. With Tim Flash taking on Pygmy and Alter Ego at the same time, Pygmy cornered down to a 0.
Pygmy looking for that 4 points out of the scenario. And KT holding their ground with the guard defending his compound, but they gave away the information to Grid VIP. I approach taking it into the compound, shooting onto Vampire Esports, managing to keep at the same time while preparing for the next stage of the circle.
Here comes the shots coming up to the side of Tony K. He managed to just hide himself well. Vampires, you know this terrain so well, they're abusing it at the same time. Trying to pick and slowly try to chip down the HP of the players beneath them one by one. While Vampires taking on Roy, and KT might be their next target. Same goes on the side of Crave VIP and GigFam. But the God and the rest of NKT still stuck here for the longest time. They still managed to survive while trying to loot up around the death boxes laying around them somewhere.
Yeah, but Grid VIP is closing in onto them, so if they want to do, they gotta make it quick. Cannot expose themselves out in the open, but we have about 5 more seconds before we see the next phase of the circle. It will be huge for teams like Grid VIP, Vampire Esports, as well as NKT, and the circle went away from them.
2 times in a row now, Alter Ego always got themselves the circle, the last one and this one as well. If they can secure the southwest of this circle, they actually will end up in the top 5 once more, and that will actually push themselves number 1 regardless of they got themselves chicken or not. I'm not sure about the eliminations so far, but we get to see a bit of Boom. They scored 2 eliminations, and Boom on the other hand getting himself quite an entry, which can be a clear path to the center of the circle. But look at the southern side. Vampires, Crave VIP, and KT, Infinity, and Utilize all on the southern side of the circle.
Well, all the best to get to the circle, YouTube, for all of them. How close they are. And at the same time, Vampire Esports, they do have like at least a player within the circle that will provide cover fire. But look at the elimination feed right now. I am prone, taken down by Spiders, and Timothy knocked out as well by Shrubs. Vampire Esports doing their work with Tony K as well.
Speaking of Boom, Tony K, where is he? We don't see a lot of Vampires speaking too much, but they keep getting those eliminations from the sidelines. They're playing it smart. They're hiding themselves well while taking the opportunity whenever they have the window to open fire. While on the side of Great VIP, have to get out from the blue zone. They cannot revive Iron Pro. Too much at risk. While Putra try to fight himself into the center. Vampires now taking on Iron Pro, stealing away from the abandoned church on top of those hills.
And now Great VIP from the full squad, leaving the Putra alone without a circle. Boom Esports joins in onto the high ground where Vampire Esports is at. This is going to be the clash of giants, ladies and gentlemen, between the two boys here. But Talon from afar just has to put in.
And Tony K finally got knocked down, but I don't think it's a problem for Vampires picking back up. Talon Yoru, here comes. You mentioned about Yoru being the most valuable player for Talon here right now for this season. Can he actually fare well here with this lineup? Vampires on the other hand do have a solid compound, but will not be there for the longest time, since they will have to leave soon either way, as stage 7 later on will not comprise of this side of a map.
And GigFam bounce out at number 9 with 4 eliminations. While we look at the blue, moving on to the team circle. Anytime soon, Spider Tan goes down to Soul. And Anuzi went down, Shots went down as well. Looks like Vampire Esports falling apart. But the team that fell apart before them is going to be NKT, eliminated at number 8. But the team that's doing well right now, Doom Esports, 5. They are dominating and make that 6.
2 Thai teams going down back to back. And KT, I respect them. They're holding on so long despite being sandwiched by so many teams early on. But here comes a team that used to be the champion, which was going to be the last season. Champion Boom having some struggles to keep the boat afloat. While Create VIP portrayed is going to be the last player surviving for the side of Create VIP. Same goes for the side of Infinity. There's going to be solo player remaining. While Boom do have a duo, Yummy can revive and try to divide and conquer at the same time. Tunny, on the other hand, still lost so long despite he was running away from all those wars early on.
Look at this, high ground frenzy now has the upper hand against the VIP. load up and it's plus Talon. Nice long range spray by Frenzy to knock down Linux. Red face from off angle on the other side of the circle. Now he does not have a vehicle, so he has to track in to the circle by his own. Boom, spots in a similar situation, but at least they have one player in the circle as a marker.
They do have the numbers, so it's not impossible for the side of Boom to just bulldoze themselves into the center here, which they're planning to do. So dropping the nade to a side of Infinity and Talon at the same time. Well, Udo Lions do have those rocks to take covers from. The couple of rock structure will play so well for them at the same time with this overexposed field. While Yummy May do have those high grounds, but the problem is he can't spot them out with this curvature of this geography. Right now it's not working out so well for Yummy May. But he doesn't have any more utilities on his hand. Inside of his pocket, there's nothing left. That's zero, except for his gun and his weaponry. That's it. There's going to be only the rifles to put up all the work for the side of Boom.
Yeah, and it also depends on who gets the circle advantage. But I just looked at the movement of Talon. They made the first move within the circle. So now, speaking about circle advantage, they do have it against Boom. But when it comes to terrain advantage, Boom still has the high ground, so they can still cover themselves from Talon. Still A-OK for them. But on the other side, we got Judo Alliance, who knocked out one of the members of Boom and got 2D. It's the one to steal away the point out of Pondbit.
There's a lot of fights on top of this hill. We do spot it out. Boom, one player out, leaving with only the last player remaining. A lot of solo players. And when it comes to Boom and Infinity, got Tani still survive, regardless of how much longer he can actually wait for that. A couple of nades might actually flying over his side. We didn't actually say his name just now because we might actually jinx him. He got finished off, but at least he got himself a top 4.
Well, speaking on the top, now we have top 3. Alter Ego is still in the game, ladies and gentlemen, together with Talon, as well as Judo Alliance. 2 teams are in Asia, and the Seoul Malaysia representative, Judo Alliance, all of them in circle. But we see on the minimap a lot of movement here by Talon, and it looks like they're going to put focus onto Alter Ego.
Hans for you, going aggressively into as a side of a flank, going for the offside. I'm not sure about Red Face, but I have a feeling he got a hunch that there's somebody's watching over this side, which can be Alva. Red Face trying to open up the space in between, but Judo Alliance is moving at the same time. Now, if Alter Ego sits on their hands, it's going to be trouble brewing up for them.
Go Hans for you. Looks like a good angle from Rosemary here, still active in the lineup of Alter Ego. He'll play a key role. Oh, a little bit of a bumpy car there. Judo Alliance don't do mistakes like that. It might cost them big.
Speaking of big, the one that actually holding the big angle, Alva being finished off just now. They lost one of the off-angle players, which being knocked down, leaving Alter Ego into 2. Now Judo Alliance and Talon both squishing and just boxing into a side of Alter Ego. Alter Ego being cornered up so hard they barely got enough room to breathe. Another one knocked down, leaving only Rosemary to do the job, and that's gonna be the splat!
By Jimmy! Splatting Rosemary! And now it's between Talon and Judo Alliance. The Judo Alliance with the higher advantage against Talon. Standing on the lower ground. But Talon, they do have a good spread though. Both of them in the circle, and we're moving to stage 9 soon.
It's gonna be a 4v4. This is gonna be the perfect ending that we'll be hoping for all this time when it comes to the first in wrangle in the entirety of the league here. First day of the league, in fact. Judo Alliance versus Talon 4v4. Can we see the best of Red Face? And can we see Yoru fitting into Talon for this season?
Oh man, both of them still active. But look at Talon's eliminations. Already 9 eliminations for Talon. While on the other hand, Judo Alliance on the other side now, they're making their move. The circle will start to close, and we're talking about stage 9. But the circle will close entirely. Jimmy will gather information, and now he has a chance to get across, but Red Face in the off angle will shoo him away.
Red Face, I miss the reckless Red Face here, but his utility is running dry at the same time, leaving only 1 molly and 1 flash. That's it. All that he can do is just going in, just rushed. And while on the side of Judo Alliance, barely got any covers. Quite an open street even, but they do have enough to cover themselves. At the same time, smoke's been popped up. Now Yuri, he will try to boost himself. That means the only thing that he has in his mind right now is going in for the rush.
Here we go, Linux trying to hold his ground, but he's on the lower ground, so he does not have the vision against a Judo Alliance. But one player of talent opening up the off angle. We can see that Linux is trying to do something interesting from the side, and Judo Alliance might not know that he's there. TV is still circling around, trying to bait out the members of Talent, but Talent not falling for it yet.
Trying to bait all the players. Position for you to Alliance spot out Misery, but didn't spot it out there. Flanks first, Yuri drop a big one. That's the green light. That's the entry. Will they go in for the rush? Not yet. Oh, they spot another one. Euro finish off Olio. This is the time. Plays a finish off Eddie Glue.
Yo! And at the end of the day,